Welcome back to FryMinis. I'm Eric, and today we're going to talk about distracted players. It's super important to understand the difference between a distraction and an actually distracted player. A distraction can happen at any time. A dog can walk by the window. Maybe your system glitches if you're playing online. Stuff like this will happen. That'll pull people out of the game. That's going to happen no matter what. That's just life. But a distracted player can be a real hurdle for the group. Before we go any deeper into this, though, I want to put a little disclaimer out there that sometimes a person is just going to be distracted. Maybe they're not physically capable of staying focused on any one thing for a long time. That's okay. Maybe they've got something going on in the background that's just causing like a big life issue or something. That's okay. There are plenty of situations that separate somebody who just isn't paying attention to somebody that maybe can't. So before you jump down anybody's throat, it's important to consider the reason why. Distracted players can be a challenge for the dungeon master. You can easily get this feeling of like, oh, I'm putting on this game for you. Why aren't you paying attention? What's wrong with you? And it can be a challenge for players of, hey, I'm here, I'm focused, I'm investing my time in you. Why aren't you doing the same? That's why a distracted player, along with most any relationship issue, can be at least helped by open and honest communication, feedback, and discussion. Using somebody's name, whether it's their player name or their character name, is a great way to snap somebody's attention to you. That's why whenever you go to a store, they always try to get your name and use it. It keeps your attention to them. So using that same trick can really help you out at the table, and it's just kind of a good thing to do in general. Ask the player what's going on, just straight up. If you can do it privately, great. If you need to talk about it at the table, that's okay too. Just be polite and be respectful. Ask them if there's something going on, if they want to talk. Ask them if they want to leave. Maybe if you give them that actual out to leave the table, maybe they'll take you up on it. Maybe they felt obligated. They didn't want to break the social contract of coming to the group, but they know they can't focus. Give them that out. That way it shifts the responsibility of leaving the table from them to you as the DM. And that way everybody is able to gracefully exit. And for any one game, I would rather lose a distracted player than impact the whole group if it's really a problem. Now, if this is a thing that happens over and over, talk to that player. Maybe they don't realize that they're doing it. Maybe it started with them opening up a tab to check out an ability, and then they spread. They opened up another tab and they checked out a thing and then another thing. And then sooner or later, they're on Amazon shopping and they're not really paying attention to the game at all. It can get away from you. I think this is a particularly big problem with groups that are traditionally in person, but have moved to online in response to pandemic stuff. When you're sitting at a table with each other, yeah, you might have that person that looks at their phone every once in a while. That'll happen. But you're probably not going to have somebody who's just sitting there staring at their phone completely checked out. When you're online, you're on the computer, you have another tab, another screen. It's easy. It's very easy to drift a little bit, especially if you're not playing with cameras on. It's very dangerous. So it might make sense to work this conversation into your session 0 with your group, whether you're changing platforms from physical to virtual, or it's a whole new group of people, of course. Talk about your level of investment that you expect from the players. As the DM, you can't really get too distracted and pulled away from the game without it immediately kind of destroying everything that's going on. But if you have 5 or 6 or 7 people at your table, virtual or physical, it might be a couple minutes between any time you do anything at all. In those few minutes, it's easy to look off to the side to do something else, especially if you're not used to it. You need to explain to that player why it's a problem. You need to let them know the impact that it's having on the group. If you've collected feedback from your group, check out this video on how to do that, and other people are mentioning this player, maybe anonymously show them that feedback. Let them know that they're having a detrimental effect on the group. Most likely, they don't realize the damage that they're doing. And you need to figure out why they're distracted. You need to find out what is the problem. It might be a personal issue, something they don't want to actually discuss with you. And that's okay. But now at least you know that there's something going on in the background. You know to not expect their 100% investment in the game. You might not know what's going on, but you know that something is going on. Maybe that player is just having a particularly off day. Maybe they didn't sleep well last night and they're just having trouble concentrating. And that's okay. It's when we're regularly having these issues that it's a problem. But maybe it's something you can fix as the DM. Maybe your style could be a little more flashy. Maybe you could narrate combat a little bit more dramatically. Maybe you could use the player or character's name. Anytime you do that, you are going to grab their attention. It's amazing. Give it a shot. Try it out. It'll blow your mind. Maybe it's your overall story arc. Maybe it's your ratio of the 3 pillars of social, combat, and exploration. Maybe they're just there to fight stuff, but you keep leaning heavily on the social aspect or the flip-flop. Balance your game, your whole campaign, around what the players want. Make sure you're collecting that player feedback to actually know. Okay, so now if you've had these private conversations with that player, you've talked to them, you've tried to figure out what the cause is, there's nothing you can really determine, they're not able to figure anything out, they're just not really invested. Now, what do you do in this kind of a worst case scenario? Well, that's going to depend on your situation. You need to weigh the impact that their distracted behavior is having on the group as a whole. Because if you try to kick somebody out of the group, even if it's somebody that the whole group agrees needs to leave, there's going to be an impact on morale at the table. Ejecting somebody from a group is a pretty strong action. Maybe it's worth it, maybe it's not, but I would recommend trying to work through the problem first. Understand the player, make sure they're okay, make sure it's nothing you can't fix on your own. Work with them, let them know the problem. If you're playing virtually, maybe encourage everybody to turn their camera on if it's not already. That sort of eye contact can go a long way to keep somebody focused. So just remember, we don't get to know everything that's going on in our players' lives. But if we know that there's something happening in the background, maybe we cut them some slack, maybe we work through it. At the end of the day, open and honest feedback and communication can get you through almost any problem. I want to say a special thank you to my patrons. They voted on this video topic. So thank you, patrons. Thank you for supporting the channel. And I'm thrilled to welcome a brand new patron. Mr. Mike is a tier 4 Waffle. Mr. Mike, thank you so much. Welcome to the team. I'm happy to have you. Thank you. I've always got links in the descriptions. You can check me out over on Patreon and Instagram and Twitter. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Click the notification bell so you never miss a video. I hope this video helped you out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.